Look, I think under this administration, you're seeing more disruption, more transformation in government than we have seen in decades and decades. It is amazing what's going on. I think it's going to take these fundamental changes. I mean, John, look, let's keep in mind, right now, government's been shut down for 3 weeks, a government that is $38 trillion in debt. And by far the majority of Americans, and I'd venture to say that 99.9% of Americans haven't skipped a beat. They haven't noticed a single impact in their daily lives, yet we continue spending money, continue printing money, continue expanding government, spending those limited taxpayer dollars in places where they don't belong. And so I think that this administration is absolutely the time, it's absolutely the place and where we can make some of these transformational changes.
Yeah. Congressman, as of right now, there are a lot of these videos circulating of people who are recipients of the SNAP program. And I keep hearing how much money they get every month. And I'm thinking, holy smokes, that's a full-time job. They are enraged that they would be required, the audacity of being required to work 20 hours per week. And I keep thinking, you add up all of these EBT recipients. I know it's a drop in the bucket compared to 38 trillion, but does that make much of a difference? And how many other programs like this can we take advantage of this fiscal sanity mode in our country and trim them down too?
It's a perfect example of where you have opportunity to improve government. Look, you can go across government. I think someone counted years ago and found 92 different anti-poverty programs. You can get free cell phones. You can get assistance with housing. You can get assistance with healthcare, assistance with transportation. As you've indicated, assistance with food. The assistance goes on and on and on and on. There's not a measure to see which of these are actually effective. Obviously, we don't want to leave people in poverty. We want to lift them out of poverty. These programs need to be a temporary hand up and not a hand out. You can go back and look, Amanda, over the last few decades when Newt Gingrich was speaker, there were tightening of the restriction or tightening of access to those programs, trying to force people or encourage them to get into the workforce. Just a few years ago, that happened again as we were negotiating debt ceiling, where we further tightened or required that folks, after a period of time, must volunteer, go to school, get job training, volunteer at their church for 20 hours a week in order to continue to get taxpayer-funded benefits like food assistance. These aren't crazy. They aren't mean or cruel. These are things that truly recognize the fact that money doesn't grow on trees. Taxpayers are funding this, and it needs to be temporary assistance. So many other programs that could be consolidated, identifying the programs that help get you out of poverty and back into the workforce. That's what we need to be doing. And I think using different types of AI tools and others can help us to measure which of these programs are working and which ones are not.
Yeah. We just had a story. I think Doge is now up to about $218 billion in savings. That's a nice dent. We got a little bit of a dent with the rescission. We got a little bit of a dent with the big, beautiful bill. What's the next big cut? Is it while we're still shut down, does President Trump say, I'm riffing not 20,000, but 100,000 workers now because we've gone on too long? Where do you think would be the next big cut that someone could make that might have some lasting impact?
I'll give you two examples, John, where I think you have huge opportunities. First of all, taking a look at what's happened over the last 3 weeks with all these agencies, programs shut down, figuring out, look, do we need to turn these things back on? Which one of them have truly had impacts, truly bring value to American citizens, and determine which ones don't, which ones haven't had impacts over the last 3 weeks that they've been shut down. The second thing that I think is really important is that we really need to look at the federal government, the state government, and the local government, and stop having duplicates and triplicates in programs and efforts. Where can we consolidate? Where can we have one level of government be responsible and perform a duty instead of having three different layers of the same capability, taxpayers paying for the same thing 3 times over again? I think those are two areas where we have a big opportunity to save hundreds of billions of dollars as we further consolidate or reduce spending